Thank you for tuning in to the My Positive Perspective Internet Show today, where we feature individuals and groups who share the common goal of improving the level of trust and community. Today's episode is brought to you by Gatorade, a great way to quench your thirst. I'm joined here on today's episode by Adrienne Reed. So, Adrienne, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. And Adrienne is involved with the Law for Autism.
That's right.
And has been an autism, so to say, supporter / volunteer / advocate for a while. And you have a lot of we have experience, having sons with autism. But those facts really has given you some knowledge and things to know that you can maybe pass on to other children or other parents. So maybe we can talk about that real quickly.
Sure. My oldest son was diagnosed when he was about 22 months, but we knew early on, probably at 9 months, that there was something really different with him. Our pediatrician at the time wanted us to wait for a little while and see, and we had his hearing checked and all sorts of things. But when he was diagnosed, I learned that early intervention is very important. So we started ABA therapy. Mm-hmm. We did about 30 hours a week, and we did occupational therapy and music therapy, speech therapy. It became a job for me. It became a totally new way to parent, and we just lived in a therapeutic environment, and it worked. Mm-hmm. Now my son is 13 years old, and he, at one time, we were told he may never talk. Now this child doesn't stop talking. Mm-hmm. He's in a gifted and talented program, and he's doing great, and it's really all because of early intervention.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Maybe you can comment a little bit about his education, and how did his education differ from other children, and if so, how?
When he was first diagnosed, we were told that social skills were very important. So instead of putting him in a class with all special needs kids, all children with autism, mm-hmm. we decided to put him in a typical preschool program and had an ABA therapist actually come in and shadow with him. Okay. So she was there the entire time he was there. And at first he didn't want to interact with children, mm-hmm. but she would actually take her hands and put him on his hands and make him do all the things that the other kids were doing. Sure. In a circle with the other kids. He fought it at first, didn't really like it, but eventually he started to do what the other kids were doing, and she could back off a little. By the time he was 5 years old, he was ready to enter kindergarten in a typical classroom and did not need to be with children just with special needs. So it was having that ABA therapist come in and help him get comfortable and familiar with what the other kids were doing was really beneficial. Sure.
So would you say that, instilling confidence in autistic children is almost as important as anything else?
Absolutely. Children with autism, they're children. Mm-hmm. They're just little people, and they have feelings. They may not be able to tell you what's going on with their words, but they have all sorts of ideas, and there's so much going on in there. Mm-hmm. They definitely need their parents and their caregivers to be loving and supportive and help nurture that confidence inside of them.
Yeah. Well, another thing that autistic parents, have to deal with is the medication. Could you maybe comment about that?
Well, some children with autism will have some other things going on, possibly ADHD, mm-hmm. ADD, and they might need medication. It's not for every child. Mm-hmm. I think there are a lot of ways to address some of the symptoms of autism without medication. I definitely would recommend for the parents to take the child to a developmental pediatrician and to look at everything and not just focus on maybe the tics or the some of the some of the little things that are going on. I think it's such a, you have to hit it in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I personally, I'd be a little wary of jumping into medicine right away.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I have to agree because oftentimes, as a society, we're so quick to use medicine as a way out, and as a result, we can become overly medicated.
Absolutely. Some children may be tantruming for a really good reason, and we may not be able to figure it out. You have to really try to get into their perspective and try to think, what could be going on? What was happening before the tantrum started? Or there's a lot of things that people can do to help the child. And I think sometimes if we medicate too quickly, we're not going to be able to tap into what's really going on.
Yeah. Like I said, that makes complete sense. And I'll ask you real quick also about the group of Surface Healing. And the reason I'm aware of them is because I've done volunteer work for them, and I've had them on. Of course, if y'all tune into my Positive Perspective show for as long as it's been going on, that the Surface Healing is the event itself occurs in August.
Yeah.
And we usually do have to have them on and talking about that event.
They're wonderful. Both of my children have participated in Surface Healing in the past, and it was a phenomenal experience. These are professional surfers that come out and spend the whole day with the kids and their parents, and they're so kind. I've seen children kicking and screaming, fighting on their way out, and then when they're coming in on the surfboards, they're smiling and laughing, and it really can get a kid interested in being in the water. And I believe that the man who started it, Izzy Paskowitz, he found with his son, Isaiah, that when his son was in the water, he was calm, and he found peace. So it's a beautiful thing that that this group does to keep it coming, and all the people here on Bali Beach to get them to come, and they're just a wonderful group of people.
Yeah. I mean, it really helps exemplify the Charleston spirit of giving back, and we as a city do a fantastic job of just trying to take care of those that need help in our society. I think. So.
I agree with you. Charleston is a wonderful place to be, and the community has been so supportive of Walk for Autism and Surfers Healing, and we're so lucky to live in such a rich and city full of wonderful people.
I have to agree with that. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And maybe there's some contact information you'd like to give to people out there that may be watching this who could come and read up on the reform.
Sure. If you think that your child might have autism, or you are concerned about a kiddo and like some more information, we'd be happy to help. You can get in touch with us on our Facebook page at Walk for Autism Charleston. You can also find us on the web, walkforautismcharleston.com. And any one of us volunteers, board members, we'd be happy to share our information and get you some help.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for joining me on the show. And thank you so much for tuning in to my Positive Perspective Internet show today. Thanks, and have a great day.
On a sunny day, I feel my thoughts drift away. Only good vibes and good times living in my brain. On a sunny day, catch me lamping in the shade, feeling so fine and so high. Oh, my sunny days, still I hope all my efforts will one day pan out. The love within you'll never be without. So I roll, feeling strong and so invincible.